Uh-huh.
Alright, so all of the tags are good, all of the thing is good, so we can officially start and be good. So.
Yay.
So last time we started working on a Hilli-Hero for Genshin, and now we're going to resume. I think I'm going to tweak the body a little bit because I actually think she looks too small. She looks more childlike than she does young adult, which is what we were going for. So let's make the torso longer. That's the first thing to do. And we'll make the hips just a tiny bit wider. Not by much. We don't need the most bodacious of butts. We don't need massive hips. At least not at this moment in time.
Some people like it.
Oh, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that we need to get the body right. Because like in reality, I would probably make her big, buff, and beefy, but they don't have a body model that's big, buff, and beefy, so it's got to match a body model they have in the game, and that's this one.
I mean, it doesn't have to follow the game per se, right? I mean,
I suppose that's true. I'm trying to match the art style, and the art style, unfortunately, is also still like slim. Because if I look at if I look at Beto, let me open Beto for me. Where is it? Also, apologies for the fan, although I think the music will cover it up. It is still very warm here.
Oh, the same is for me too. If my AC is too loud, I'm willing to make my room greenhouse. So let me know.
Yeah. So here's Beto. Here's her official art. Even though she would in reality probably be a buff lady, she ain't. So
yeah.
Even when the bodies differ and change a bit. Oh, I never pointed out to people that image in this upper corner over here. That is Kiki. I am streaming her stream. I have somehow left the user volume open. Why did it do that? There. Jesus. Silly thing. Alright. Did not really realize that was still there. Oopsie poopsie, fixed it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yay. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, so she is also doing art. She's drawing a very cute Hotao. Who's over there plotting to be a menace.
Yeah.
So, let's see, somebody else who should be buff but isn't.
Apparently, Child is supposed to be buff according to his lore, but he is stick.
That is a stick child. I refuse. No, that boy is a stick.
I mean, they tried Ito, but you know, he's like, where's my?
Ito's muscles are gone.
Yeah, he's like, in a picture we could see sort of the muscle.
Yeah,
but
he was a buff lad. He's not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any pictures of Ito yet. And I don't have any of the... Oh, no, there's D-Luke. So this is D-Luke's art.
I mean, D-Luke is...
He's a skinny boy.
I think he moves a lot, you know, compared to Ito, where he's like stand tank.
Yeah, but he can pick up that big-ass hammer.
That's true. And also, D-Luke's hair. People were having problem with his
because
hair.
less fluff.
How his, like... Yeah. Same with Albedo, too.
Yeah, I will say... Oops. I will say this, though. There is there's two factors. One, there is unfortunately a difference between drawn art and a CG model. You can only put so many polygons and so many layers of hair. But also, in this image, his hair has been caught by an invisible breeze. It is moving. So, in reality, when settled, it probably would be about where it is. But that aside, yes. Fluffy-haired D-Luke is a good D-Luke. So, yeah. But, yeah, people in Genshin are not super buff, even though they should be. Like how, like, even when Ganyu's like, oh no, I become fat so easy. I'm fat. And I'm like, no, you're not. You are
Yeah,
in
right?
no way even remotely close to fat. You are extremely
Right?
skinny. Do not
She's
even.
extremely skinny.
Madam, you are a pole. You are a
I
beanpole
mean,
with thighs.
have you seen Suzanne, like, the random quest with the
Yeah,
camera lady? I mean, no offense.
that is a plump woman.
Yeah, no offense.
Yeah. Oh, no offense meant.
Yeah.
I think she looks perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
That is a large, plumpy lady. So if you want to say, like, oh, I have weight on my body, that's the person you should be talking about, not Ganyu. Ganyu is not. Like, hell, even Jean, although they did change it a bit, she has wider hips in her concept art, but
That is so true.
she got dim legs.
Yeah.
So there is unfortunately a difference between drawn art and hair that's moving and 3D.
Yeah.
But I will say a thing I find funny, because I got the new D-Luke skin. He's taller in the new skin.
What?
And I flipped back and forth between the two, trying to figure out why. And I think the heel on his shoe is higher.
He has a heel?
Yeah, I mean he has a heel on his shoes anyway. Hold on, let me grab him. Come here, D-Luke.
Oh.
But if you look at his boots, he does have a heel. But I think on his new boots, he's got more of a heel. I'm not entirely sure. I need to get art of that and see.
So it's like that meme where, yes, but? Like,
He got a glow up.
Yeah. Girl, you're not going out with like that, junk. Oh, okay, then how's this? Yes, bitch.
How's this? Better. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to get some good references for those. All right. What do we got? And these are electro. So these are basically the same. I learned something about the electro. Not the Samaturl. These are Samaturls. The big Lolaturls. The electro one has many spines down his back. Like a lot, like this dude, he's got a lot of them. I thought that he only had like the 2 big horns. I was wrong. He's got like 6. Like all down his back, he's got them. So that's cool.
You know when he fights us, he drops those little spikes.
Yeah, and he does it after he shakes. So that must
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Oh.
That must be it. That must be it. Okay, my chunky lads. I'm gonna get back to this body and we're gonna chunk it up a bit.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna break the body mold and chunk up this lady.
Let's do it.
Probably gonna make these legs a bit longer too. We're figuring it out. We are designing as we go. This is how... Yes, this is how the process do work. Also, hang out with Zhao Wen.
Right?
Right?
Like, everybody, like...
Now that he's had a change of heart from the chasm and has decided that maybe having friends is a good thing, and maybe just because Shangli has retired does not mean that he can't go and see him just because. Which I feel is like basically the lesson that was learned there is like, yeah, you originally made that contract. That, like, you'd give your life for Liwei if the time came. But, I've decided you're not going to do that. I've decided that that is not what is going to happen now. So, alright. As people may have noticed, when it comes to sketching phases, there's a lot of erasing involved. It makes it easier to erase till, like, a line is faint, so it can be your guide for a better line. I do a lot of erasing. That's probably why my sketches come out really clean. Yeah. I've been told before that my sketches are too clean. My pencils are too clean. That I should let them be looser. That they basically look almost like they could be inks. And that's not me. I'm not trying to, like, brag, I promise. It is something that I genuinely struggle with. I can't do it.
Are you bragging, Alex?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm trying very hard not to. Alright. me chunk this body up a little bit. Not too much. We must stick with the Mihelio design of small. But we're going to make a buffer bod. We're going to do strong leg. Strong leg of muscle. We want a girl who like Haizao can distribute justice with fists. I have been creating that boy. And let me tell you, finding Animo trinkets with elemental mastery on them is a lot harder than I remember it being, because I seem to recall getting a ton of those at first. So I condensed all my resins today because I had stuff I had to do. I had to take the cat to the vet. I'll tell the stories of today in a minute, because hoo boy, has today been a thing that has occurred. But I condensed my resins, and I did. That's what I did today. I ran the dungeon to get those. And I didn't. And I only got like one thing that had elemental mastery as its primary stat. So I played tradesies with everybody. The only Animo user, from what at least that I possess, I haven't looked at Jean, that doesn't use all elemental mastery is the Traveler. The Traveler is Animo damage up, attack percent, and crit damage. That is what they need. Did not realize, but that is how they function. But everybody else is just straight. Even Kazuha is elemental mastery across the board.
I mean,
that surprised me.
Kazuha is like the best buff supporter right now. I mean, he could be delivered as if you want to, but
yeah, I use him for DPS. As I'm sure people have seen, I don't really build characters with like a specific thing in mind. I just try to pull together teams that seem to either complement each other's skills or cause the reactions I want. Right, also, this music got fucking loud. I'm turning it down. I think this problem happened last time. This particular battle theme is very loud.
The music got excited.
It got very excited.
She's working on the legs.
It makes it makes me feel like I'm yelling. That's why I had to turn it down. So it sounded like it was okay before, so maybe it'll be a bit fainter now. There we go. Anyway. So I don't build teams based on like any particular meta. It was actually didn't even know that that Goro is an excellent teammate to have for Ito until you told me. I would have had Ito just kind of by himself, boosting his defense as much as humanly possible to make him a strong boy. So.
Because I've been watching too many Twitter with Goro and Ito together, and I'm like,
You're like, why together this thing? And they're like, because defense. And you're like, oh, I see. Actually, where's a regular Hilli-Hero? I need to see the musculature on his arms. Lad, where be you at? Where is... That is Deansleaf. This is the normal Hilli-Hero, right? Yes. Let me see your muscles. See, even though he's buff, he is also a skinny man. He also don't got no undies on.
Oh, no.
He doesn't have anything over there, but that Hilli-Hero has no pants.
YouTube, we're gonna get you.
Ah, demonetized! Banned! It's over. Oh no.
Oh no.
Ah, we're fired. Fired from what? I don't know. But yeah, in case it actually this will just transition into like how the day has been, because boy do I have a story for everybody. I may sound kind of the music got dramatic for this moment. They're like, she's gonna talk about what happened today. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, bring out every violin. Every violin, sir? Every violin. Okay. if I sound a little out of it, it is because I woke up at 3 a.m. Or rather, I was woken up at 3 a.m. By my brother shouting for me, and I was like,
Why was
I was
he
just
shouting?
you'll find out in a second. I just groggily
Okay.
went, what? And he goes, the kitchen's flooding, and I'm like, what? He's like, a pipe burst in the kitchen. It's all flooded. I need your help. Get down here. And I just, because I'm half asleep, I go, for real? And he goes, yes. I'm like, okay, hold on. And I stumble out of bed. I actually put boots on. And I just wandered over and I'm like, I will put on my chunky motorcycle boots because the kitchen is flooded full of water. I go downstairs and sure as shit, my brother is hurrying to the stairs to the basement, and I'm like, where are you going? And he goes, there's no shut-off valve in the kitchen. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I have to turn off all the water. I'll be right back. And he just goes down in the basement, and I turn and I look in the kitchen, and there is just this sea of water, and I'm like, oh no. My mom heard everything. She stumbled downstairs. She's looking around. Some of the water's gotten out of the kitchen and into the dining area, which is where she keeps her bags of quilting supplies in one corner, and it's just spread across the floor to all of that. And she's just kind of staring at it in that half-awake haze where you're, like, trying to put together what is happening.
Oh, no.
Thankfully, none of it got ruined, but a lot of it had to go in the wash, obviously. Like, a lot of fabric went in the wash.
Yeah, oh my god.
A bunch of food got destroyed, we didn't realize, but somehow all of the water coming out of the sink, somehow it got, like, kicked up or something into two of the cabinets to the side. And so anything we had in those two cabinets, thankfully only one had food, that came in, like, a paper box, destroyed. We actually, like, my mom's put it momentarily on hold because there's just so much to do. But underneath it, we have what, I don't know what you'd call it, but we call it the Roundy Round. We've called it that since I was a kid, so I'm not getting rid of that name anytime soon. But it's like a 3-tiered metal with a slightly raised lip thing that rotates around. They're all circular, almost like pans with a pipe in the middle, so you can turn them around.
Lazy Susie?
Yeah, like a Lazy Susan, but shelves. But because it's got that raised lip, there's like an inch of water in each of them. And the wood inside is all wet, so every box of pasta has to be thrown away.
Oh no.
The ramen is fine. It came in a plastic package, so the ramen is good. Thankfully, things like tomato sauce, anything in cans, all good. That's fine, thankfully. But boxes of, like, vegetable, chicken, and beef stock all have to go be thrown away because it's a paper box with paper packets. So buy to that. And some other stuff has to go too. Thankfully, it could have been worse. It did not get into the third cabinet, which would have been all full of cereal boxes and things, and the boxes of rice, and the sugar and the flour. All that was in there. So thankfully, that didn't get wet.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually.
So we my brother went downstairs and he turned off the water and he came back up and he looked at us and he goes, oh my god, it's leaking through the floor. And I'm like, what? Because our house is old. He goes, it's leaking through the floor and down a support beam. There's a puddle in the basement. And our basement, since our house is old, is made of dirt. So he's like, it's like an inch and a half of mud down there. And I'm like, oh my lord. And he's like, Christ, okay. So we're standing there looking at this like inch and change of water being kept in the kitchen only by virtue of the weird lip of wood that we have separating the dining room and the kitchen, and the fact that since, again, house is old, our floor is slightly warped, so all the water has been kind of pulled towards the middle of the room. And we're just sort of staring at it for a minute, trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. So my brother's like, okay, he's like, all right, get me a bucket and a dustpan, one that doesn't have holes in it. So I'm like, all right, hold on, I'll go get the bucket. So I go and get the bucket. My mom's like, here's the dustpan. So he's in there scooping water into the dustpan and pouring it in the bucket. Like we're belaying a boat that's taking on water.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. So I'm like wandering around and I'm like, all right, where's the pile of towels that need to go in the wash? Because I'll just use those to sop up the water from like the other part of the floor. So when we get it all sopped up, I'm like, all right, I'm going back to bed. And then, of course, I'm laying there and I'm like, and now I can't sleep. Fuck.
Oh.
And I can't sleep in late because my cat's got a vet appointment in the morning. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, this sucks. It could be worse. Thankfully, the water is back on. Everything is fine. A plumber came right out. My aunt and my uncle know all these people who do all kinds of work. So when we sent them a message and we were like, so do you have a person you could recommend for this? They're like, do we? And sent us the name of like a bunch of different people. They're like, here's all the friends that we know, because my uncle used to do construction. Like, here's all the people that we know who can help you out. I'm doing these abs wrong. How am I doing these wrong? Come on now. I know how to do abs.
That's good that you have a people. You have a people who could
who can help us out. Yeah. Oh, they know like everybody. Like when we were like, shit, we need to replace part of the roof because those fucking woodpeckers got it. They were like, we know a guy who will do it well for less than big corporate people who would take like a month and a half to get out there. And I'm like, I sure hope he do. So he's like a small business owner, so he's real good about shit. So he came out and he did it and it's fine. But here's the part where it gets stupid. In like a funny haha way. And I'm not trying to bring the room down or nothing, just letting people know, and I only say that because I am so used to this bullshit happening that I just shrug and go, whatever. So the reason that the pipes burst is because they were made of plastic. They were PVC pipe. And because it's been so hot, they've been expanding and contracting a whole lot. And they've been starting to crack. So eventually they just gave up. And it wouldn't have happened in this dramatic a fashion. Like, it would have happened eventually because they were PVC. But it wouldn't have happened in this dramatic a fashion if my dad hadn't fucked around with it. Because we had a leak in the kitchen like a few months ago. Oh, I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
Oh no, I was going to say what
he did. Yeah. So we had a slight leak in the faucet because it was getting old. And that's just a thing that happens. Like, water, especially water with minerals like ours, just starts to build up. And then eventually the seal starts to crack and it leaks. So we were like, okay, we'll replace it. And he went, I'll replace the whole thing. And we were like, why don't we call a guy? And he's like, no, I will do it. And we're like, oh boy. So my dad is infamous for starting projects of things he thinks he knows how to do and does not. So, whoopee. So he came in and he fucked around with the sink and he said, I'm going to replace all of these pipes in here. And he did, and I guess he did not do it well because it burst. It held up for about a month, but it burst. And so the entire time my brother's complaining, he's like, if he just called a guy, the guy would have done it. And if it broke like this, we could have sued him for doing a bad job. But now we can't because dad who did this and blah, 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 blah. So my mom, called my dad and told him what happened. And at first his reaction was, oh my gosh, that's terrible. I will, let me know how much it is. And I'll send some money over and I'll pay for that. And we're like, okay, thank you very much. Because, repairs are expensive.
Right.
And then I guess he realized that it was the sink he had worked on, because the next reply he sends my mother is, so which one of you broke it? And my mom's like, nobody broke it. It broke on its own. No one touched it. And he's like, well, one of you must have put something in there and smacked it against the pipe or something. Like you guys can't keep throwing things in there. And she's like, nobody threw anything. And he's like, well, I fixed it. So somebody must have thrown something in there and broken the pipe. And
Oh my
my
god.
mom told me that. I looked over and I'm like, you want to know who broke the pipe? He did. He's the one who broke the fucking pipe. Fuck off. You don't know what you're talking about. So, that was that magical adventure. So, the rest of the day has been better though, thankfully. My kitty had
Okay.
her vet appointment. She's losing weight. Not in a
Oh.
good way though. So they're like, we think she's got a thyroid problem, and now the music is menacing. Okay.
Oh no.
The menacing music is here. Bum, cat has thyroid problem. But she's got a thyroid issue, and it's causing her to lose, weight.
Mhm.
So it's nothing to be super worried about right now.
Mhm.
But it's something you want to keep an eye on because you don't want that to just suddenly be a thing. Like cats, well, really any pet or any person, losing a bunch of weight all at once is not good because it can
Right.
make them real
Yeah.
sick. So they took blood, as they were going to, because it was her yearly checkup anyway. And they're going to test it and check it out. And if her thyroid's acting up like they think it is, then she'll just get some medicine. So that's okay. She was super well behaved. Everybody had very nice things to say. I didn't get to go in with her because COVID still exists. But when we got there early, I'd been walking her around outside on her leash because I got my cat a harness. And everybody, apparently the techs were watching from the window, the ones that weren't working, and they were like, "Oh, your cat is so cute. She's so well behaved." And like when the lady came out to get her, my cat went from like, "Oh, I'm checking this out," to like, "Oh my god." And I bent, and she's like, "Oh, I should get away from this." And I bent down, and I scooped her up, and I'm like, "No, you're okay." And then she's just like, "Okay, I'm in your arms now, it's fine." And the vet tech is like, "Oh my gosh, look at her. That's so cute." And I'm like, "I should probably put her in her crate so you can take her inside." And she walked right into it.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, I'm going back in here, bye. I won't be out here anymore, I don't like it."
Oh.
So she behaved really well for them. They were able to clip her toenails, give her shots, take blood, and she didn't hiss. She just sat there and was like, "I don't really like this, but if I'm quiet, you'll let me leave, right?" I get to go if I stop, right? So that was nice.
That is very nice. Like, yeah, normally like cats, I seen a lot of cats.
Yeah, our mutual friend Jen was telling me when I was telling her about it, about how her cat Maddox has a reputation. And that reputation is boy hisses and is mad. Apparently last time he went to the vet, they put him in a little like carrier or something for like to wait. And he crammed himself as far in the back as he possibly could go and just hissed and yelled at people. Anytime they came over to try and take him out, he was like, "No." And he wouldn't stop until Jen came to get him.
Touch me.
No touching.
Like he was I felt something heavy when I was like at Jen's house. Like I was like doing a sleepover and I was sleeping on a sofa.
Big ominous cat energy.
Something. And I was like,
Something is glaring at me from across the room. It is Maddox.
You're sitting on my throne, hasn't.
He's a Maine Coon too, so he's not a little cat. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's also the only cat I've met that's scared of me. My mom always jokes that I'm a cat whisperer because I can like befriend almost any, I guess with the exception of him, like any cat I've ever met.
Maybe that's why he's like, I sense someone who could control over me.
I sense a presence I have not felt since. No,
No, I
No,
will not.
I shall
be
not.
Subdued by you, of you.
You will not subdue me. No. Amazing. My god. A little goober. But, Yeah, he does not want to come and see me anytime I've visited. He just goes and he's like, nope, I'm on the other side of the room now, bye. Ace, on the other hand, the dog, is just like, hi, you're here now, I love you, pet me please. And Maddox is looking from the other room like, you traitor, I thought we were friends. I thought we were pals. Why do you let this happen?
I shall not talk to you.
I'm not gonna go and speak to you until she leaves. You've broken my heart.
You have broken my heart, dog.
Horrible, horrible dog. But
And
apparently,
Maddox
apparently they're like super buddies, from what I've been told.
they get along, yeah.
I also know that Maddox likes to try and steal his food, which is funny
Yeah.
because it's usually the dog stealing cat food, not the other way around.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
See, I only know Maddox and Ace, so I was like, huh, I guess this is Gnome.
yeah, I mean, if you ask her if he's still doing it, they had to like, at least she told me that for a while they had to like really watch when they gave Ace food, because Ace would only go over and like eat a bit of it. Like once he was done, he would toddle away to see where everyone had gone, and Maddox would just come right over and be like, food. But then he'd be like picky about his food, and she's like, here, I got you broth, you need more water, and he's like, I don't want that. I want the dry food that tastes like gravel.
I heard eventually cats need to like have little bit wet food.
Yeah. Cats are notoriously bad at drinking plenty of water. I
Yeah,
don't.
that's why.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like an evolution thing, because they evolved in the desert. So maybe they just normally function without a lot of water, or they get it primarily from like the stuff they would catch, because obviously living animals have water in their bodies. Or maybe it's because, you know, kneeling, like leaning down and drinking water leaves you vulnerable. So they don't want that. But cats are notoriously bad at drinking water, so the big suggestion is like, if you've got a cat that's dehydrated all the time, give them wet food. Of course, if you have a picky little princess like I do, you'll just give her wet food anyway, because if not, she'll look at the dry food and be like, but mother, why do you give me food for poor people?
Oh, no.
Do you hate me? You must hate me. I don't hate you. You must. Because the food you're giving me is dry. It's dry and withered like your heart.
Oh no.
It's like, stop being a drama queen. No!
No!
Never! And just sit there like, you done? Yes. Okay then. I'm like trying to make something, like combining like all these different elite churls together.
All I could
That
think
is the
is cats
win
right now.
All I can think about is cats. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I just see cat ear in them.
The water
Oh
boy
my
is
God,
the
they're kinda
easiest
cute.
to see. I mean, they, you know, like in a way, they are kind of cute. The Hilly Churls, like they aren't like I'm sure that like in reality they would be like hideous.
But they drew them.
But they
so
look really cute. They're like little
Yeah.
cotton puffs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that is their fur or if it's part of the mask, because like I said last time, I know that they're based on like a lot of different of like tribal costumes from all over the world. And I know that in certain parts of the world, like in Japan, that there are people, there are native tribes of people who used to have masks that were like that. It was like a wooden mask, and then it was like a big, bushy bunch of like fur or straw or something to make them look like bigger. and to hide their faces. I know that there's tribes in Africa who did the same thing. With I guess in their case probably strictly long grass, because there's not really animals with like big long fur, although maybe the lion fur, but so I guess like fur grass. And then there's like people native to like First Nations people from the United States, who, depending on where they lived, had masks or headdresses that were like big and fluffy because they were made from like buffalo and stuff. Or like big bunches of bird feathers and things. So I know that they're based off of that. They're based off of... They're supposed to, I guess, be based off of like all like First Nations of people from the world, whether they still exist or they don't. So like you'll see... Like I'll see things in the mask and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of familiar. Or I'll see things in like, you know, hanging these stones from the like around the body of the Samashirl that look like they got runes carved in them, and part of the like the binding of the loincloth, and I'm like, oh, that looks a little bit Celtic. So I think they're supposed to have been drawn from like everywhere, which I guess makes sense if Conria was, as I suspect, kind of a melting pot of just people from all over the place. It's supposed to be like the shining jewel of like human civilization.
Yeah, and his dying sleeve, I think it's from the sword name from the Celtic, I think.
Yeah, Ninetine's Leaf is a sword from Celtic lore, and I'm trying to remember what it did.
I know it was... I know what...
Something.
Like, I don't know where it's from, but I know it's like it's supposed to be the evil cursed sword that's supposed to drain people's like soul or something, which is not cool. Like, you know,
let me grab a Google and find out.
And we shall learn.
Let's have a looky-see.
I wonder if it's the one that Queen Hilda, the wife of Siegfried?
Siegfried?
Siegfried. Yeah, Siegfried. I wonder if it's that one. Because, so I think she was not supposed to wield a sword, but she wielded his sword after he died, and went on revenge or something like that.
I found it. Okay.
You did?
It's Norse.
Oh.
The word Danesleaf means Dane's legacy. Oh, it's actually tied to a post about Genshin.
Hey.
Yeah. Alright, let me get back here. Okay, so the word Danesleaf meant Dane's legacy. Legend had it that once the sword Danesleaf was drawn out of its sheath, that somebody must die to quench the thirst of the sword. Every time its blade was revealed, the holder must behead someone.
Oh.
Yeah, so let me see. Let me get out of that thread and look at what Wikipedia has to say. There's actually an excerpt from the from like a supposed account of a battle about somebody. It's a sword that belongs to King Hogni, if I'm saying that correctly. I cannot pronounce the name of the battle. It contains characters that I don't know how they're said, including something that looked like a backwards D with an X through it. So that's cool. I don't know how to say that.
I don't know how to say it too.
I'm gonna hope that it means Haydn. Probably, maybe. So apparently somebody got abducted. Somebody goes to save her. The King Hogni goes to save her, and the person who abducted this girl, who is his daughter, offers him, I guess, compensation of some kind, of like, oops, I'm sorry, please take these and go away. And Hogni's reply, excerpt from the thing, is, "Thou hast made this offer over late. If thou wouldst make peace, for now I have drawn Danesleaf, which the dwarves made, and which must cause a man's death every time it is bared, nor ever fails in its stroke. Moreover, the wound heals not if one be scratched with it." So, it's apparently... And the first part in popular culture is Genshin Impact. Hey. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
And then the second one is Sinfongear!
Oh.
That's a guilty pleasure of mine, Sinfongear. Okay.
Oh.
An ancient relic in the form of a sword named Dainsleaf, yeah. That's the weapon that one of the girls has. Yeah. So that's the whole article is just that. So it's supposed to be a legendary sword that once drawn compels its wielder to kill someone. And if you are so much as even scratched by this sword, the wound will not stop bleeding. So it's basically like if it cuts you in any way, you will die.
So you get DOT damage, dot damage.
Yeah, basically. You get dotted forever with bleed.
Oh, ouch.
And as a person who has fought those horrible wolves, ow. Also, I found the rift hounds in Wolvendom. I actually kind of approve of. I actually am a little confused, actually, of where they put them. Because you kind of have to go out of your way to find where they are. And I don't know how a first-time player would find them unless they were attempting to scour every inch of the mountain. Because they... okay, so if you walk into the arena to face Wolvendom's boss, the wolves are... oh gosh. If you were to head in the direction of crossing the arena, but then veered off to the right, climbed up the wall, went up over that cliff, and then down into this little valley a short distance away, that's where the rift hounds are. I have not found them anywhere else. That appears to be the only place they are located. So I'm not...
yeah.
And there's literally nothing else over there. It's just a big bunch of trees. So I don't know if anyone would find them by accident.
Yeah, which is good, I guess. Unless you're, like, you know, very lost or something.
Yeah, so I guess it's just something weird to find if you were exploring the, like, scouring the area for chests or something. To be like, oh, what are these doing here? But I don't know that players, first-time players would find them at all. Yeah. There's no reason to go over there.
I think what I was doing was I was hunting for the bowberries.
Ah.
And that was one of the locations that was in the map, and I was like, wait, what are they doing here?
Oh, I see. Thankfully, though, it's just a group of little ones. There's no big one. Although I think it's been apparently they do not appear until you do Razor's quest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So until you meet Razor, those wolves are not there.
Okay.
And apparently it is implied that the quote-unquote bad wolves that caused problems there are the rift hounds.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna have another laser quest?
I would love a Razor quest. That would be
Me
sweet.
too. I mean, I think we had a cliffhanger where like we probably gonna fight those hounds anytime soon.
Yeah, Razor's got to go and do battle with the big wolf because the claw marks up the cliff are much bigger than those little ones, and he said that there was a very large and evil wolf that was making them do stuff.
Oh, what if we're gonna get like a similar to like the wolfy fight, but like the big we already have one, but that's like
yeah, we have like the Lord of the Rift.
Yeah, I hate that thing.
I think it's super cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It is so cool. It's so cool.
It's a bit of a bitch to fight if you have you don't have a lot of people.
Yeah, like the first time when I was like fighting, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I realized you needed a geo person to break those.
Yeah, any elemental damage will start breaking down the shield, but Geo is much stronger. I tried to do it with Goro, but let me tell you, he doesn't shoot fast enough.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I love you, child, but you have failed me. And he's like, I am sorry, mother. I know. It's okay.
I did it with Ito, and he was crying. He was like, ow, man, that's not nice.
I can't chuck this bull fast enough. I cannot throw this chunky, dancy lad quick enough to cause this damage.
I know you're trying so hard, but do it faster, boy. Please.
Please.
Futausa.
Please, my beautiful chunky child.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love him so much. I was okay. I'm not gonna say.
Oh no, it's okay. No, go ahead.
No. I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay. I have to say though that throwing Ushi smack into somebody's face is very satisfying.
It is.
I
I
didn't
did it with the
expect it to
birds.
be.
I did it with the birds.
Yeah, I saw that too as somebody was joking and going like the true test of of a person's aimed attack is to annihilate Timmy's pigeon.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, like I kind of wanted like next time I'm probably gonna if he's Milan gonna like come again, I'm probably gonna try and get another constellation for him because I just want to see him his damage. His
His
things are
damage is
just
apparently
skit is
insane.
just insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go more.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I love the names of his ability of the well not the abilities, but
Oh,
the
me
like the
too.
unlocks for his
Mhm.
constellation are really
Yeah.
funny. Like the first one is like, come sit
Face
down and I'll
off.
tell you a story or something. And I'm like,
Mhm.
are you Shang-Li but younger? Hold on a minute. That seems
And
like
one of
that
the
should be what Shang-Li's constellation is called. It's like come sit with me
yeah.
and I'll tell you a story.
Tell your story in ancient times.
Yes, let me
And
tell
like
you about the
also
osmanthus
like
wine.
there's also yeah his constellation should be osmanthus wine or
Yeah, his
something.
last one should just be called Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember. And
Yeah.
if they had done that, everyone would have lost their fucking
Mm.
minds.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh,
Actually,
small update. We just changed the name of it. Nothing else
I
about it is
found
different.
a place that serves osmanthus wine.
Oh yeah, that's a real beverage, isn't it?
It is. I kind of want to do it, but I have to buy the whole bottle, and
You're like, not
I'm not
happening.
good at drinking, so
Yeah, well, I mean, what if you drink it and you're like, oh, this is bad. This doesn't
yeah.
taste good at all.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not cheap. I just wanted to let you know it's not cheap.
Yeah, I believe it. I very much believe that it isn't cheap. All right, let's see. People may have noticed that I just keep fiddling lightly with the lines, but that's how I like suss out the shape of things. I'm figuring out how I want this to go.
Ooh. I like the rune that you did. It looks like
Oh,
a
thank you.
Norse mythological rune
Yeah.
stuff.
Like, kind of like
Yeah.
these down here that have Norse runes on them. Like this one. This one's definitely a rune. I recognize it. I don't know how you say it, but I know that this one is a rune. At least it looks like one. Now that I've zoomed in, it might just be an hourglass. Because they like triangles. So ignore what I just said, because apparently as soon as I zoomed in, I realized I was wrong. But I wanted to make it look Norse rune-esque without having it be an actual rune.
Mm.
And there's multiple reasons I wouldn't want to do that, primarily because I do not know what each of them means and says, and I don't want to have it, like, say some nonsense. Also because certain really nasty groups of people have decided that that's their little call-out to let people know that you are also in on their horrible shit, so we're not doing that either. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So I wanted, like I said, I want to try and make it look like it could have been anywhere. Like if you were to take the first peoples of the human race from just about everywhere, I guess except for Sumeria, because that is Sumaru. So
I'm so excited about Smeru.
I am too. There are certain things that I'm like looking at and going like, this feels a little bit different than the others, and I'm not sure if it's in a good way or not, but I'm still hopeful it'll be good despite that.
Yeah. And also like we know we've seen the trees, but there's also a desert part, and I have
Yeah.
a feeling that's where the juicy it's like Watatsumi Island, like where like we didn't get access to Watatsumi Island until the second part. So
Yeah,
I'm
and that
assuming,
is really pretty.
yeah.
It's a shame that the quest that goes on over there is actually pretty lame. I'm not gonna lie. I love Goro, and I love what they were trying to do, but they're like, alright, time to help the war effort. I'm like, okay, cool, so is this gonna be like us, because there were things that changed depending on what we did, and I'm like, okay, so are we gonna like go around breaking up little encampments and shit? And they're like, no. You will go and do random bits of nothing for people. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
It's
shit.
like, okay, so this is my problem with Inazuma part. Like, this is only my opinion,
Yep, it's
so you
okay.
don't need to. But I feel like Ayaka, A, and I mean not A second part, but the first part.
Oh, of her,
And
of their Archon quests.
yeah, and also what's her
Yeah.
name? What's her name? Oh,
Kokomi?
Kokomi.
Yeah.
It felt same. It's
Yeah.
these rich, like, higher up girls who doesn't know about the world. They don't know how to make friends. They don't know how to pray, act normal.
Yeah. And that would have
You're
made
there
sense
to,
for A, considering she had literally locked herself in another dimension for several hundred years.
right,
But
yeah.
when that's happening with everybody, it's like, this is the same
Like,
quest.
yeah. It's
I've already done
just,
this.
yeah. I was like, huh.
I'm like, Kokomi's thing is that she's a tactician and she seems to really enjoy it. Shouldn't
Mhm.
her Archon quest have been us helping her attend to the Shrine Maiden duties that it seems that she kind of got saddled with? She
Yeah.
doesn't seem to really enjoy doing them, but she does them out of sense of duty, so shouldn't that have been her
Yeah.
quest?
Right. Like, I feel like, they should have, like, they made each people, like, I would say Kokomi, like, yeah, she had a problem, but, like, it was just so similar to that other thing, and it wasn't that diversified. I don't know. Like, it
Yeah,
was
it
just
wasn't
same.
it wasn't
I
any
was like,
different really.
yeah, we're just there, and yeah,
It's
we
just
were
her
just
being
there.
like, "Oh, I can't make friends with people. I get tired and go
Yeah.
read books." And I'm like, "Okay, and
Okay. And
and what?"
I guess you don't need us, right? Okay,
Okay, well,
bye.
you seem to be doing fine. I mean, I don't hang around with
Yeah.
people a whole lot either.
Hmm. And I have I have other things to do. So
Yeah, even
did anybody see my brother?
no, I do not want to put up another missing persons poster again.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Seriously.
a blonde idiot? He may or may
Like,
not have a horrible abyss monstrosity with him. Have you seen this dumbass?
like, when Shenhar's quest where we had to like deliver stuff for Ningguang,
Yeah.
and Ningguang was like, just want to let you know, like, I don't know where your brother is. I was like, why didn't you say that earlier? You would know that, like, we are doing this because we want the answer. Like, we want to know where our brother is.
Yeah, just like, so I don't know that, so ask me something else. And I'm like, couldn't that just be our long-standing request to you then? That if you ever do
Yeah.
hear anything about him, you will tell us? No? Okay. I feel like you're not helping. I feel like you don't
Yeah.
actually want to help me. And I'm a little bit bitter about that. I mean, I kind of know where he is now. But I would
Yeah.
like to
I
know
mean,
more information about, or well, in my case, I guess it would be my sister because I play as Ether. But
yeah, I mean, I would say like Luming or Ether also has a problem. Like, they should just learn that the common folks doesn't they can't help you
yeah, they don't
because
know. And the
they don't
Archons don't
know.
want to tell us
Want to
because
sell us.
there's. Yeah, or they weren't there. Or
Yeah.
I guess in Venti's case, they were drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember why Venti won't tell us anything, but I'm guessing it's because he was drunk.
I think we didn't ask him.
Oh
Like, we were
yeah, we
like,
just straight up didn't bother asking Venti at all.
yeah.
He's like, you should. He like sort of guessed. He's like, you should just go to talk to somebody in Leeway though. They can help
Mhm.
you way more than me. I think it was that like he was like, I've never really left here, like
Mhm.
ever. So anything I could tell you about what happened in Conria, and this was before I guess the game had decided that Conria was a thing. So maybe that's also why you didn't tell us. But he's like, I'm afraid I do not know the god that you are talking about.
Mhm.
I've never seen one like it. I'm sorry. Because we didn't realize Conria was involved, so we never asked him. So I guess that's what
Right.
happened.
Maybe that's why we are not really going to Mondstadt, because we know that we already got the answer that, hey,
Yeah.
he doesn't know.
Although we know
and
that the Abyss is doing something there because D-Luke is constantly busy with it, and we know he doesn't leave
yeah,
Mondstadt.
Diluc is like, oh, did you know? So you know the new so apparently for the new costume, he gets this letter
Yeah.
from something, and someone decoded.
Oh,
Someone
somebody
kind of
actually was able to figure out that it said something.
yeah
Oh,
said
jeez.
the snow is the snow is falling. That's
Ah.
what it said. So the snow equals Snitznaya, so Fatui is coming or something like
Yeah.
that, you know.
I also understand now why some people were joking that Kaya had sent him a nasty letter or something. No, Kaya sent him a prank. And it was like, what kind of prank? Oh, I see.
Kaya's like, snow is falling. And then, like, you know, Diluc is like,
And so am I!
And then it was just Kaya saying, hey, do you want to make a snowman? Would you like
So
to
you
make a
actually have information for me
snowman?
then? Yeah, it's snowing up on the mountain. You want to go? I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm going to kick your ass! Brother, why? Shut up! It's like, oh, there seems to be a fire up on top of the mountain. I wonder what's going on there.
And Jing is like looking at Kree. It wasn't me!
I didn't do it! I did not do it! Yeah, like I said, I haven't started playing the event yet, but from the little bits I've snatched, it seems that Klee was off somewhere and Fischl went to get her, so I don't know where she wandered, but I'm looking forward to finding out.
Me too.
I went a wandering and Fischl went to find me.
That girl doesn't know who I am! I am the Pyro Archon, you stupid mortals.
I went to go
Wait.
visit my mother. She's the Pyro Archon.
Or yeah, she could be a Pyro Archon.
Yeah.
Never mind. Oh my god.
I'll be the Pyro Archon someday when my mom gets tired of it and gives me her gnosis. I do know, we do know a little bit about the Pyro Archon, at least right now, until they change it, and it's interesting because Venti has nothing but bad things to say about them. Venti does not like the Pyro Archon. In apparently one of his voice lines when he it's the one where he also talks about Zhongli. He says that the Geo Archon is a blockhead, and then he gets like this nasty tone, and he says that the Pyro Archon is a warmonger.
Oh.
So that just cements more and more my idea that the Pyro Archon is basically like Goku from DBZ, is that he's this happy-go-lucky dude who just wants to fight strong opponents. And that's why Venti doesn't like him. I want to fight! Come fight me! No, come fight me! So I think if we take what Venti says with a grain of salt, as one should, I think that I think we can say that the Pyro Archon is a dude that likes to fight, and that he's passionate about it. And the Pyro Gems have like kind of Zen-ish sayings on them, where they're like, oh, one cannot say that they have walked the path of like whatever the hell the guy's name is until XYZ has occurred, and they know the peace of whatever the hell. So, and all the people who have Pyro Archons are very happy-go-lucky, cheerful people who have found. They basically found their purpose. They have achieved Zen through purpose. And thus they get a Pyro Archon, a Pyro vision. I forgot the word I wanted. Jeez.
It's okay.
So, like Bennett's cheerful despite his poor luck. And his thing is he's decided that despite his luck, he's going to be an adventurer because the thing that brings him peace is doing quests and taking care of his numerous adopted dads, his many, many papas. And so that's the thing that brings him joy and purpose and peace is helping them and working in the Adventurers Guild. So that's where he got.
He's such a sweetheart.
He's such a good boy. He's the OG good boy.
He's like, oh my god, you're so positive. Like, I just admire that. Like, I'm usually very easy to get like
pessimistic,
negative. Yeah, I am. I think.
Yeah,
I am. So
it's okay.
I
I used to be like that too. I used to be very pessimistic.
Yeah, it's just like he's like, I just respect him. Like, I would be just all sad all the time if I was in his, position.
Yeah, so he was basically like, well, I can be depressed about this,
Which
or I
is
can just
amazing.
be happy. Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
we also have to take into account that the place where they found him was just like this completely desolate, horrible, horrible place that only people who, I guess people who want to like test their limits or something, or like you know how in anime it's like, oh, I'll go to this island of like horrible death and doom, and like the gates of hell itself are there in order to become stronger by experiencing this horrible thing. Apparently that's the sort of place it is, I guess.
Yeah.
And he just was there as a baby being like, I'm a baby and I'm alone and I'm sad. Please help me.
Yeah, we don't know what he is. I wonder if he's actually like you know, also a survivor of Cambria.
I mean, he
He
could
doesn't
be.
have the eye.
Yeah, he doesn't have the
Oh.
fancy eye that we know that they
Yeah.
all have.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I
Yeah.
saw a post the other day of somebody talking about ways that sucrose could be a survivor of Conria.
Oh.
And one of them was like, she doesn't have the diamond shape in her eye, but she uses the diamond shape in her magic.
Oh.
And I was like, that's funny.
I didn't know that. That is funny, but
But she's also, but those are also shapes that come from the elemental cube constructs, which she is attempting to recreate. She's trying to make her own
okay.
animostasises, or her own animostasis. She's trying to recreate Beth for some reason, probably just because, which is why she has an animovision. Is that she's gonna do it just cause.
I wonder those stasis things are actually Cambria thing too.
They might be. I mean, they've got, well, some of them have the names of people. Others just don't. They just have names that are numbers, so who knows? Actually, I think if you read the description for Beth, it says Beth used to be a person, but it doesn't specify as to what that means.
Yeah, what does that mean? I mean, we kind of like we had a when the golden archipelago
Archipelago?
archipelago when we got that, like, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
When we got that, like, there was someone was saying that the Magukenki could be a person or persons because
Yeah, it's I know that that it was commented, or at least the game seems to comment that like if you read the descriptions for the creature, that it seems that they seem to be perhaps test subjects for making her Raiden body, because they're like puppets that seem to function in ways that people don't really get.
Right.
So that could be.
Oh no. Hey, what are you doing, man?
I don't think they're made of people. I think
Maybe
they're
it's
like
not a
test
people.
bodies.
Oh, what if it's like one of the visions that she got from the people or something?
Oh, there's like a vision power. Like, yeah, well, I mean, it seems to have two elements. It's wind and ice.
So. I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's what it seems to be.
Right.
I don't know what kind of shirt I've made, but it is a weird one. It is some weird kind of something. Oh, it's okay.
Let's see. I haven't like.
I know how to make this make sense. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna tweak it a bit. I'm gonna make it kind of like a vest.
Oh, I was like, why is my mouse not moving? Because I have a tablet on my.
It's like, oh, I'm using the tablet, right?
Ooh. I like it.
Thank you.
I like her the packs.
Thank you.
Yes, please step on me, queen. And she's gonna be like, you're strange.
You're a very odd person, and I'm cool that way. Bye. Alright. That makes a bit more sense. And then we could have darts over here, stitch darts. There we go. So that makes a little more sense. We have a band, because they've all got kind of bandages on them. Let's make some punch cuffs. I'll leave her hands bare. But I think she needs some wrist cuffs.
Wrist cuffs!
With like big... Let's repeat this pattern up here. Let's repeat this kind of toothy rock pattern over here.
I just realized something.
Mm?
So, you know the TCG, and the TCG card is from Smeru.
Oh yeah, and then Ningguang like tried to make her own version or something.
Yeah, so
I thought hers was like a board game, but
I just realized Yu-Gi-Oh is from
oh,
in the story
it's from ancient
Pyramid.
Egypt.
Oh my god, we're gonna have actual Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Oh my
Sumera.
god, that's funny
Oh
as
my
hell.
God. Like Ito's gonna be so happy. He's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I'm a champion! Woo!" Or
Going
something.
to the home of the game I
Joey.
love.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Joey Weir or something.
Oh my god, he would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and Ayato gonna be Seto Kaiba.
He too would be Seto Kaiba. Oh no. Oh, why hasn't someone drawn that yet? I can't be expected to. I can't be the one to draw that. Someone else has to, please.
I bet someone already did. I think, like, if we search it, like, we just need to find a meme.
I'm sure. Anybody watching this, whether live or in post, if you are an artist and you need a prompt, please, that is the prompt. That is the funniest thing.
Or you could draw it too, Alex.
I have so many other things to draw.
Okay. But I'm gonna see you drawing!
Look, I have many character turnarounds to do. I have to do a redesign and a turnaround. I have a wallpaper for July. I'm doing tweaks and updates to Rachel's combat costume because she's about to actually be in combat.
Ooh.
She's about to have them. Here's that. There's nothing on the feet yet. Before it was just a plain belt. I actually put some detail on the belt. Other than that, it hasn't changed too much. I also added a strap to the hand. So, but for the most part, she looks the same. She's a little skinny, though. I may have to scoot her butt. I work with a posing model that I've tried to give her proportions so that I can, like, pace out where stuff needs to be. But, I think she's still ending up too skinny. So, I may tweak that. But anyway. I have that to do. I got wallpaper to do. I have a comic page to do. You can't ask me to do more things.
Okay,
I can't be allowed to.
Fine.
Oh god, I owe Mike a bunch of artwork too, because I'm helping him out with his EP.
Oh.
He's making an album, and I told him I'd do art for it. So, I got to do that also.
And you're gonna show me, right? When it's done.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I actually have to get that style down because he wants a more simplified one. And of course, you know me. I am put all the detail in the universe on that.
Yeah, like it says simple, but we are talking about Alex here.
It should be simple. I have a problem, okay? That's the problem.
Okay.
You can't ask me to do simple. It doesn't happen.
One of your traits. Like,
it's my strong suit,
awesome.
but it's also a weakness.
I just remember my grandfather saying something about your weakness is your own self or something.
It's like, but what if my weakness is chocolate cake, Grandpa? Am I chocolate cake? And then he just looks at you disappointed from across the room, like, come on now. I'm sorry.
That's my life. My life of disappointment by my career.
No! Anybody who thinks your disappointment is a butt and deserves to be tossed in a volcano, they're wrong.
Mom, no!
Clino! Yes! I want to go in a volcano! Clino.
Suddenly, I just remembered Tekken. Kazu.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god. His name is Kazuha, dude!
His name is Kazuha! Oh no, in the future are we gonna throw poor Kazuha into a volcano?
No.
Is that the quest for the sword? The sword kind of has a flame pattern on it.
It does. Oh my god.
To learn more about the sword, is he gonna jump in a volcano? He would.
Oh my god.
Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
He would.
He would, probably,
Oh
yeah.
my lord, he really would, wouldn't he? He even admitted at the end of that quest, slight spoiler alert, for Kazuha's quest, he even admitted at the end that he does have a little problem getting obsessed with people who have, like, outlandish, and seemingly impossible things that they want to go do. I bet that's why he's gonna go with Fischl.
Oh.
That's why his best friend was an electrovision holder, because electrovisions are given to people with impossible dreams that they will pursue regardless, even if it's not good for them. And that guy's dream was, I want to fight the Shogun. You will most assuredly die. I know, but I want to because it's going to be cool.
And then I want to get stepped on, too.
It's going to be so fucking metal. Oh god, if those were his last words, to just fuck with the Shogun. He's like, do you have any last words to say? Step on me, mommy. What? Kujo Sara has a series of elaborate strokes in the corner. And she goes, I don't know what any of that means. I'm going to kill you now. And he goes, I know. Thank you, may I have another. You're weird. I don't like you.
Shogun we are talking about, so she might be like, I don't understand you, but okay, if this is your last word, I will honor it. I don't think that's a good idea. Saying Kujo-Sara.
It's like I don't understand, but I'm starting to feel a little uncomfortable. This was not in the series of rules I was given. I don't like this.
It's like, Miko never told me about this.
Hey,
so weird.
what is this? What
Maybe
is this?
I
Why
should
didn't you
take
tell
everybody's vision.
Yeah. She's like, you know what? Taking everybody's vision was a good idea because if they're all like this is a problem. I don't like this. But he would be the kind of that's why he's going to the archipelago.
Oh.
He's like, oh my gosh, she thinks she's like a magical anime princess and she's gonna go do whatever the hell Fischl thinks she's gonna go do in I have to be there for this! The only reason that he would not follow along with Lisa is that Lisa's dream, her impossible dream, is to never have to actually do anything and just nap all day. And he'd be like, I do that already, so no. Yeah. You're boring. No. Goodbye. At least be like, I'm boring. I'm boring. Oh my god. How would she react if you told her she was boring?
She's probably gonna kill you.
I feel like she wouldn't know how to react.
Yeah, but I think she would her body will move to kill him.
Yeah, she'd be like, well, now I have to kill you. I shouldn't care, and I guess I really don't, but at the same time, you have to die.
Yeah.
Well, now you gotta die. I know. It was worth it. What kind of lore are we creating here in real time?
The true one.
Yes, the true lore.
Apex should be like
the true lore. You can only get it here. Is that Kazuha would tell Lisa to her face that she was boring, and then she would strike him dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd just get up and walk away because he's Kazuha, and I'm not entirely unconvinced that he isn't high most of the time. Shh, listen. Have you been eating those mushrooms you're not supposed to?
Or those grass, he uses that, the grass...
Yeah,
grass
the leaf to play it.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually, marijuana leaves.
It's actually well, I mean, a maple leaf, people used to joke, at least where I went to school, because we were, juvenile as shit, used to joke, every time they saw a Canadian flag, they'd be like, it's a weed. A weed. So, I mean, he's got maple leaves on him, so,
Yeah.
He gotta go smoke that Naku weed. Well, actually, Actually, I don't know, maybe they do, because reading the story for Kuki talks about how one of the reasons she became, minor spoiler I guess, one of the many reasons she became disillusioned with basically working for the church. She became disillusioned by working at the shrine because she got hurt doing something once. And they were like, put, if you get hurt, tie Naku weed around, or, around your waist, and you'll be protected by the Archon. And all she got was poked with thorns. Apparently Naku weed has thorns, and it just stung and hurt a bunch. And she was like, "Ow, this is awful. I don't like it."
This is awful. I'm gonna quit.
And then it was just like one of the. She's like, all of the religion is a lie, and I'm like, well, maybe, but also, hold on a minute, you actually can go and see your god. I think that's a little different. But she then, like, later when she was studying for some exam, she was like reading I don't know if she has a medical certificate, but it seems to imply that she does.
Yeah.
Or at least she knows first aid. But she was like reading a book, and it was talking about how oh wait, I didn't want all of these to have big cuffs, just the one. I actually want it. I've gotten this far, and I just realized I want one of her arms to be bare. Oops. Oopsie. Hold on a minute. I'll fix this.
Well, fix this.
I will fix this. This happens sometimes. You get caught up, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute. My initial idea requires you to be able to see her arms. At least most of them. It's okay. I'll put it back. I remember where it was. Man, that's almost Glendale from Centaur World, that voice. It just needs like a bit more rasp. And it could be her. I need to finish watching season 2 of that. It's really funny. But like it said that like years later, when she was studying for something, she was reading a textbook, and it started talking about how the belief in Naku weed having like magic properties is because since it's charged full of like electro, it paralyzes small animals, and so people thought that meant it was like a divine plant, and that it can be used for certain medical purposes since it causes slight paralytic effects. It can numb pain. And she's like, that is why they thought it had magic. Oh no, I was wrong.
Oh, wait. Do you think that's why,
She's like, oh, it has a basis in truth. Shit.
In the quest that we had to help a doctor in Inazuma?
Yeah, and he wanted us to get a bunch of Naku weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he kinda died.
Yeah. Everybody on that island died, and the game really should have made more of a big deal about that.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that it didn't. Really, frankly, that should have been the entire quest having to do with the Resistance. Is that the Resistance was like, this island, Tatarigami Island, is fucked. And we need somebody to help. There's a whole lot of not okay happening here. We've got like actually it could have been tied into the thing that I still think is like kind of ridiculous. That's like, oh, the people in Narukami Island are kind of exactly like the shogunate in a way, because the whole reason they're mad is because the shogun killed their snake god. Except that you learn, and they would definitely know this in their history, that their snake god went insane, and the shogun had to cut him down. And I know they know this because that's a comment that I believe Kokomi makes.
So,
and she's like, oh, she had to kill him. And I'm like, I know.
Did you do so you went to Enkanomiya, right?
Yeah. I've been in Enkanomiya.
Did you do all the quests in Enkanomiya?
I believe so. I think I've done everything, including the invisible one.
Okay, so if you the snake god did it because he didn't want the Celestia to destroy Enkanomiya.
Yeah, they were gonna fucking wipe it off the face of the earth, and he was like, oh shit, I should bring them up out of the sea.
Yeah, so he didn't actually really went insane. He did it. He attacked the shogunate so that he would be killed by Archon, and like.
Oh, and then the island would fall under her purview. and they would
Yes.
be safe.
Also, the snake dude forced the people in Economia to learn the language of Narukami
Yeah, so
island,
that they could
and yeah, they
survive.
changed the names too. Like it used to be a Greek names, but
Yeah,
they
now
were
they have
changed to
names
the
like
yeah.
the
So
people of Inazuma. Yeah. Okay, so that makes even more sense and makes it even more ridiculous that they're like this because they know that.
yeah,
And A even comments, or rather the Shogun bot comments that that she was more than happy to just let them revere the snake god however they
hmm
wanted. She's like, I let them make him their god and have a shrine to him,
hmm
and I basically let them function however they wanted. Uh, but then they went and smashed my temple and did a whole bunch of other shit. And I mean, they did it in response to the Vision Hunt decree, so that's not quite the same. But she's like, well, that's not gonna be cool. And the reason I bring that up is that it reminds me
hmm
of the like the who's the bad guy in Skyrim. Have you
mm.
played that game before?
I didn't.
Okay, so this is going
So
to be a
you need
slight
to explain.
spoiler for Skyrim.
Oh yeah, okay.
Skyrim has a conflict going that's between the Imperials and the Nords. Uh,
hmm
and the Nords primarily are angry that they are not allowed to worship their god, Talos.
hmm
The reason that the Imperials have said that it is illegal to worship Talos is because Talos used to be a human. And they're like, how dare you spit in the face of, like, the actual gods by claiming that a normal human being can become a god. So,
Oh.
however,
hmm
there's nothing stopping them from worshiping him in private or holding private gatherings. They're just not allowed to stand out in the streets and preach about him. And at first, it seems like the Nords are the ones who are, they're the ones who got invaded, they're the ones who got wronged. And rest
hmm
assured, the Empire should not have been
hmm
suppressing them like this. However, the
Right.
reason that the Imperials that are stationed there are really worried about this rebellion is that
hmm
if this rebellion, if they can't put it down,
hmm
the actual Imperials are going to show up. And the actual Imperials are like this in this would be a Roman analogy. So the people who are there who are Imperials are actually native people who have been conscripted in the army. The actual Imperials who run the
hmm
Empire are elves, and they are big, and they are mean, and they are racist, and they don't give a shit. If they come in to Skyrim,
Uh-huh.
they're not going to just put it down. They're going to wipe it off the map. And
Oh.
that's why the Imperials are like, look, please don't do this. Please don't do this. So
hmm
from that perspective, and then you learn later also that the Nords are racist. Because the Nords don't just want to worship Talos, and they don't just want the Imperials to leave. Oh no, they want every other race of people to fucking get out or be killed.
Huh.
So it just spirals out of. So the point that Bethesda was doing is that they wanted to write a story where the rebellion was actually the bad guys.
hmm
So the Nords are in trouble. The rebellion's kicked off in full in the beginning of the game because their leader has
hmm
killed the Emperor. And
hmm
it's a big deal because, like you, he's a dragonborn, which means he can use dragon speak. So he walked right into the throne room, and instead of doing the time-honored tradition of challenging him to a duel and then fighting him, he just used a shout and fucking murdered him in cold blood. And that's why people are not happy about this. But the Nords, who want everybody to get out and, die in a fire because they're all inferior pieces of shit, think it's totally fine that he did that because he wasn't a real Nord. So he shouldn't have been on the throne anyway. And regardless if that's true or not, he did murder a guy. And also, again, Imperials should not have invaded these people. That in and of
hmm
itself is wrong. But the Imperials who are stationed here, their worry becomes more apparent when you discover that the reason that they're super worried about this is because if they full on rebel, then the actual elven army is going to come in, and when that happens, everybody dies. And they know that they cannot beat them. So that's why they're like, please, look, we don't care if you worship Talos. You just can't do it out. You just can't do it in public. Like go and have a church meeting in like a nondescript building and worship him all you want. You just can't stand out on the streets and proclaim things, because if the elves find out you're doing that and not worshiping their gods, they are going to kill all of us. And I know it's not cool, and I know it's not fair, and I know it's bullshit, but we can't beat them. We have to make this small concession so that we can all survive. And the Nords are like, nah. If we can't have this, we should all die with honor. And everybody and all the the people who have been conscripted in the Imperials are like, I don't want to die at all. Mm-hmm. So it becomes a real messy situation, and that's what I get. Messy. Oh, sorry.
That is very messy. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. But that's what I keep getting reminded of with the people. Wow, the name of the island just vanished out of my brain.
Watatsumi Island.
Watatsumi, yeah.
So
that's what I immediately keep getting reminded of.
Two things. One thing, Watatsumi Island people, they don't know about the truth.
Oh, they don't know. Okay.
Yeah, because so what happened was, if you there were some like books that said to the Enkanomiya, the priestess, they are descendant of they have a genetic genes of those.
Oh, of the aqua fish, not the vishaps, the shark-like vishaps that are in the.
Yeah, and guess what Kokomi's constellation is?
Is it a vishap?
Dragon.
Oh, it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a sea dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't know, but then the snake person was like, "Hey, just forget about everything that's happening, the truth and everything, because
it'll only make you unhappy.
Need to know." So but some people were not happy about the decision. So
yeah,
that's why there are some people who stayed in Enkanomiya.
Oh, and then everything just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it all went to shit.
And another thing is, A might not know about this because Makoto was the one who was the,
Yeah, she was the Raiden at the time, and she sent A to kill, the snake, but she doesn't know. She might not know why.
Yeah, she might not know why because she was grieving that,
Yeah, because her sister may not have told her, or she might not have understood if she told her. Because I know she said that she didn't understand a lot of the things that Makoto talked about. Yeah. So
it's messy, but
it's messy. But yeah, that's what it reminds me of, because
Yeah.
on the one, they shouldn't have to be part of like a thing they don't want to be, which totally makes sense. And the thing they're standing up for, is something definitely to stand up for. But then every time you like talk to like someone who's like older on Watatsumi Island, there seems to be this undertone of like, hell yeah, we've been waiting for a reason to tell the shogun to fuck off. And I'm like, please don't tell me that you just use this as an excuse, because war is absolutely hideous and all these poor people are gonna die. Yeah. Did you seriously just use this bitterness over something that we later find out, as far as everybody knows, is that, over time the gods break down, like how Zhongli's all worried about erosion, and it seems like the Nosies were keeping that from happening, but it seems that they since it keeps them connected to Celestia, I wonder if the more they deteriorate from time, the more it lets Celestia control them. I wonder. But that's just a little theory I have. A little wonder.
A game theory.
A game theory! Quite literally, yes.
Subscribe and like.
Like, comment, and subscribe your own game theory. I think the music stopped, actually. Hold on a moment.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, a 1-hour remix of the Silhouette of the Night outfit OST? What is this now?
What is this now? What?
And how is it an hour?
Wow, yeah, it's already, wow.
And there it is. It is indeed an hour long. I see. Well, let's see what this is like. Ooh, this is funky. I'll link it to you so you can hear it without having to, like, hear your own voice in, like, triplicate. I'm in the wrong everything. Here we go. For the people watching at home, it is the outfit teaser OST 1 hour Silhouette of the Night Kemkui remix. And I know that's a big long... I know. I'm excited for this outfit, and it's free.
Oh, this is nice.
It's pretty funky.
Yeah.
But,
I want to know more about Oz too. Like, I wonder if he's actually the Thunderbird.
Yeah, I wonder if he is related in some way to her, because he looks a lot like she does in all of the art we've seen. And I was like, oh,
right?
A girl wished so strongly to break reality and become another person that she's crafted her own epic familiar. And I mean, I think we often forget because we only saw it happen in a trailer, and it's, you know, video game logic to ignore it. But her ult is that she turns into Oz. She doesn't just call him to the field, they merge into a single entity.
Oh my god, you just gave me a goosebumps.
Yeah. That's why the battle cry for the ult is done there's one in her voice and one in his voice. And it just decides at random who's going to shout Midnight Phantasmagoria. But it's her turning into Oz, and we see in her character trailer, too, of Oz flying through the air. He dives down, his form disintegrates, and he turns into Fischl. She does like a rebounding backflip in the air, and little wings swish out of her waist for just a moment to correct her in the air before she lands.
I just remember something. You know what it reminds me of? Monkey's paw. A monkey's paw. Like,
a monkey's
you know
paw?
how, like, yeah,
like you make a wish and there's a condition that may not be good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for example, I think in monkey's paw, like the wish was like to be very rich or something, and the money is not coming from the other people. Money is
the money doesn't come from nowhere. Yeah,
it comes from someone or something.
Yeah, what happens in the story? I remember this because we actually read it for both. But it was read in both a literary cast I listened to, and I also had to do a report on it in high school. So they wish for like $1 million because they don't think that it's true, and the paw curls up. And they're like, well, that was fucking weird. And they're laughing about it. And then they get a knock at the door. And it's this guy who's very grave. And he's like, I have some really awful news for you. And they're like, what? And they're like, your son has been in a horrific accident at work. He got pulled into one of the machines and he's died. Then the company is so sorry that this has happened that they want to compensate you in the sum of like $1 million. For your loss, and the mother is like, oh my god, our wish killed our son. So she uses the second wish and says she wants her son back. And in the middle of the night, they hear somebody. They think they hear someone outside, and someone coming up, walking up the path and trying the door. And the husband freaks out. Yeah. And like his wife is like, oh my god, open the door, that's our son. And he suddenly realizes, even from the one wish, even though the monkey's paw has 3 wishes, he realizes from that singular first wish that who knows what's at the door. His son may have come back, but is his son in that ripped up awful state? Is his son like a zombie? Is he a monster? Is that something else? Is the cost of getting their son back, does that mean, not that he would come back to life, but that they would die and join him. Like, what does this mean? So he, like, blocks the door, and his wife's in hysterics, and then he grabs the monkey's paw and wishes, and wishes that wish had that wish be undone. And the knocking stops. So that's the monkey's paw.
Right. So and my point is, what if, like, you know, she's wished like something that would sort of prove that she is the possession or something. And
she wants to be official.
Yeah. So what they grant is the claw that is with the possession, which is ours. And so they brought the Thunderbird reincarnated to her.
Could be.
It's already,
He could be a fragment of the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
We know that parts of her memories live on in feathers. And in memories so strong she creates ghosts of them. You know, like, and here's the thing is that being granted a vision isn't necessarily, well, it's not necessarily the mark of something good.
Right, yeah.
They're just aligning with a concept. Like, you don't have to be a good person to get a vision. Case in point, Child has a vision allied with justice, but it is allied in his sense of justice, which involves murdering the ever-loving shit out of people. And most of us would consider that not good.
Yeah.
So...
also, I think Lisa was saying something when she got her vision. She was like... She was saying, like, oh, so this is the true meaning of getting a vision, and she just lost, like, she doesn't want to do anything and just trying to live out her life, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, well, it's that for an electrovision specifically, it appears to be wanting to obtain in some way eternity. And as she discussed, eternity means a lot of different things for different people. Case in point, eternity for Yoimiya, even though she's a pyro user, but eternity for her is in fireworks, not because fireworks themselves last forever, because they don't, but by being able to replicate that particular type of firework, she can, the people who view it can be brought back to that moment in time, and thus that moment in time is now eternal. What Lisa wants in her pursuit is to never have to do work, so she can always just do whatever she wants. And all of her achievements strive towards that point. But is that really good for her? Is it good for a person to sit around all day and do nothing? A lot of, human being, we joke of like, oh, people make comments like, oh, if you had a society where nobody had to work, nobody would ever work. No, human beings kind of get messed up when we don't have anything to do. We go stir crazy. It's called getting cabin fever. There's a reason that people start getting kind of like antsy if they've been on vacation for too long. It's not that people should be, overworked the way that our system does it, because fuck that shit. But it's that humans want to do stuff. We need to be active, and we're not good. We don't do well when we can't. So that might not be good for her. Razor. Razor's thing is that he does not want to have to choose between being a human and being a wolf. Primarily, he would like to be a wolf, really. He wants to be a wolf more than he wants to be a human. Is it possible for Razor to become a wolf? I don't know. Maybe. It is a world of magic. He could be. I mean, if he makes friends with Sucrose, she could probably turn him into a wolf with bioalchemy. Who the fuck knows what she can do? She's crazy. She's crazy good at what she do.
She always check on... Her favorite thing is, like, to check on the bones of Hilli-Hero.
I know! And I know she doesn't know they're people, but I mean, they are clearly a sapient species, so that's kind of fucked up.
It is. So, I mean, Sucrose is, good girl. I'm scared of her.
Yeah, she intentionally or not, she has been coded as a person with oh god, what is the term I want? a non... Oh god, she's a neurodivergent individual.
Mhm.
Some people say that she's been coded autistic, but I don't think that has anything to do with her sociopathic tendencies. But I think it is that she is so hyper-focused on these things that she loses sight of a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
I know she's fascinated with Albedo. I don't know if she knows that he's literally a homunculus. Spoilers. He's made of chalk.
I don't think she knows.
I don't think she knows, but she wants to know everything about bioalchemy through him. So, I know also, you know. But anyway, you know, is Razor living out in the woods away from other humans? Is that good for him? In the real world, a human being living in a pack of wolves, which has happened before, has happened many times, in fact, they have a hard time readjusting to society. But living out there with the wolves isn't necessarily good for them because wolves are not humans.
Yeah.
And they have different ways of thinking and doing things and different diets. And it may not be healthy, but that's what Razor wants. And that is what he is going to pursue, regardless if it is good for him or not. We have Kujasara has an electrovision. She is going to her thing she wants to pursue is the Shogun. Frankly, she's a simp for the Shogun. Right. Whatever she wants, some kind of impossible something where she can make the Shogun happy. To the point that it is alluded in her special dish that it is oddly sweet and kind of dessert-like, the one she makes, and we know that she doesn't really like that, so maybe it's meant for somebody else, hint hint.
Right.
So she knows enough about the Shogun to know that she secretly likes treats. And it's remarked upon both in her bio and by other characters that Kujo Sara is kind of a sad, in like a pathetic way, kind of individual because her wish and her dream, her ambition is entirely devoted to somebody else. And they mean in like a more hardcore way than how Zhao is devoted to Morax. He's probably also devoted to an unhealthy degree, but it's not his entire purpose in life. He's devoted to him for a personal reason. But she's devoted just because she believes she should be. And is that healthy? Probably not. But it's what Kujasara wants, and she's going to pursue it. And then we have Fischl. Fischl is actually a girl named Amy, and she does not want to be Amy. She wants to be Fischl. And I've read through her bio, and it seems like it's not any one thing that made this happen. It's just like a slow slope of Amy being unhappy. And it's never specified what it is, because she seems to have a loving family. They seem to be perfectly fine with her wanting to, you know, her walking around and talking, saying, I am the princess in Talung and blah, 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 blah. It may just be that she didn't feel like she had anything to contribute. She may have just felt like she was kind of worthless. But she began to pursue being Fischl. She changed the way she dressed, the way she talked. Her portion about wanting to, you know, the way she got her vision is that she was like literally sitting in the library poring over books, and then she kind of has a small breakdown where it's like she's in tears and she's like, I will be Fischl. I have to be Fischl. I have to be Fischl. And that's when Oz appears and drops the vision in her lap. And then addresses her and says, like, oh, Princess and Talung, Fischl, I have found you, and blah, blah, blah. So, getting, the requirements for getting an Electrovision appear to be, I have a dream I will pursue, this vague concept, whether it is healthy for me or not.
Yeah.
I am going to do it. And that's kind of...
She will do it.
Yes! Whether it is good for me or not, I'm gonna do it. And you can look at that kind of like because, you know, the idea of eternity, the way that Makoto was looking at it, was this kind of like nebulous idea. Her idea of eternity stretched so far that she was able to become a tree both in the past and future And fuck you, because she's a tree now. And it's a concept so far reaching that even A doesn't really understand how it works. But she,
if your sister becomes like a tree, you're like, what?
Sister's a tree now. I'm a tree that spans time. And that is how I achieve eternity to watch over you all. I will be this constant thing observing in the background. And she's like, what? The fuck? But,
Makoto, did you drink something?
Makoto, what the actual shit? What does that mean?
Confused too.
Yeah. In one of her friendship ranks, I haven't gotten it yet, but I've heard clips of her talking about it. It's Raiden saying, basically the traveler says to Raiden that her version of eternity is just her trying to avoid the world because she's sad. And she's like, it might be, but, you know, I guess we'll never know, will we? Yeah. You may say that it's just me avoiding reality. And perhaps I am. But it is a thing I have sworn I am going to do, and thus I shall do it. And I'm like, okay. They get it. I will give the writers this for all of the times I've tilted my head and gone, I don't know that I would have done it that way. They have committed to the bit. They know what they're talking about when they've hammered down some pretty clear rules. And that's why I stand by the things that I have said when I said, like, oh, this is what gets you a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not necessarily good for you.
Yeah, it's not.
Especially since if it gets taken away, part of you kinda dies. And just like Yae Miko said, is when they get their vision back, they aren't necessarily okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think
like their ambition changes in some way.
Yeah.
Because they've been without it. Case in point, that Pyro guy who was all about like, oh, I'm gonna, he ended up opening a studio kind of through happenstance, and being like, oh, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna be the greatest swordsman ever, and I'm gonna fight all these guys, and he did, but after he lost his vision, he was terrified of everything, and when he got it back, instead of going back to just being how he was, he's like, I think I'm just gonna settle into the role of being a teacher. Having that nervous breakdown made me realize that I've kind of been being so reckless all this time. It's not good for me to have been doing that. So I'm gonna, my ambition still hasn't really changed. I've kind of already achieved it in a way. So I'm gonna now look after this new generation and let them carry on my legacy. And thus, by doing so, I will still be the greatest swordsman, even after I'm gone. There's the guy in the village who had a vision and stayed waiting for that other woman to come back.
Yeah, she is dead though.
Yeah, she's probably dead. I hate her.
We saw her in Futao's
business. Please don't hurt her business model.
She is dead.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Are you okay?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I thought you were talking to someone.
Oh, no. I said, oh no, please don't hurt Hu Tao's business model.
Yeah.
But in the end, he waited for her there, even though he knew she'd probably not come back. But he stayed because he loved her, and part of, and getting a ice vision is some form of devotion. Again, whether it is good for you or not.
Oh, ice vision. He had an ice vision?
Yeah, I think he had an ice vision.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
I mean, obviously double check. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he had a cryo vision. And we know that cryo visions, because, she's the goddess of love. But love is not necessarily healthy, because love is just another form of obsession. And the things we do in the name of love aren't necessarily good. Like, Kaya lied to people in the name of love for his family and his people. But he got his cryo vision, from what I understand. He got his cryovision because in that moment fighting D-Luke, he decided that he loved D-Luke and his new friends in Mondstadt more than he did Conria, and thus he would betray them. But he also knew in that moment, it is described that he knew that Diluc is never going to forgive him. So he lets himself become the villain for him. And that's why they have, like, this bloody, terrible fight with the two of them. Because he knows that Diluc's upset. He's not going to listen to him. He's the bad guy forever now. So he's just going to accept that role and do it. Is that a good thing to do? Probably not. But that was enough to get him a vision. I mean, the crystal also says, you know, it says something to the effect of, like, this world has been awful to you, so destroy it in my name. And I'm like, well, that's not good. You know, I also noticed that they kind of seek justice the way that, water visions do, except that instead of going through the existing system, they want to break the system. Or they'll do it despite the system. Like how Diona, instead of confronting her father directly and being like, Dad, you can't be drinking like this. It's awful and I hate it. She's like, I'm gonna fucking burn the... I'm gonna burn the wine industry to the ground. I'll show you.
The funny thing is, Diluc also...
Diluc also does not like wine. He doesn't mind selling it to people, but he also, because he's busy doing other shit, because Diluc, again... like Razor said, goes hot and cold and dark because he threw his vision away. Whatever his passion is that got him that is now fucked up and different, and he probably hasn't acknowledged that, so basically he's not okay. He probably hasn't noticed. But I imagine if she went and talked to him, he would probably be like, oh shit, your dad is like getting messed up by this wine. Let me, you know, why don't we put our heads together and come up with like a campaign to encourage people to not drink like that.
Yeah, and she's like, what? Sure.
He's like, how about I teach you everything I know about bartending and how to spot when people have had enough so that you can cut them off. And together we'll start a policy amongst our two bars of like, you can only have this many drinks. And posters of like, you can't drink all the time, it's bad for your liver or whatever.
Yeah. Or maybe Diona gonna be like, no, I want war! War!
Yes! I will have war! Are you a pyro user? Who are you? Come back here. I will have order! Wrong character. But yeah. Sorry, sorry for all the rambling. I've been giving it some thought.
Oh no, you're okay.
Ever since. Huh?
Oh, are you talking to someone? I'm sorry.
No, I was talking to you. It's okay.
Oh, what? I was like, why
at this current moment, there isn't anybody else here.
Oh.
It's just us.
I'm sorry.
It's just been you and me the whole time.
Why? I was like,
okay.
Why are you apologizing? You didn't do anything.
It's because I just kind of
so
dominated the conversation the whole time.
No,
talking about me.
I'm a listener.
Staring at the descriptions in the game and going, oh, I see where this is going. Maybe watch it prove me completely wrong. But currently, that's what it seems like.
Even if we are wrong, I would say it's a great theory. A
game theory. There's also the fact that anybody with a vision, as they have stated, is capable of receiving access to Celestia, which means, you know, achieving enlightenment like an Adeptus and becoming a god themselves. Which makes me wonder if this is part of some, you know, the more we learn about that possibly Celestia is a bunch of bullshittery that scares even the Archons, that it has sort of made into its servants, if you think about it. It's a popular thing I've seen. Maybe that's what that's all about. Maybe it's like a way to recruit fodder. But the question is, recruit fodder for what? You know?
Yeah.
Because as established, it doesn't necessarily seem like it's good for you to have a vision. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's sort of a neutral concept.
Yeah. There's a price to be paid.
Yeah. There's a price to be paid to obtain one, and there's a cost if you lose it. So it might be good for you, but it also might be bad. It's kind of like actually it's kind of like the soul gems in Madoka. If you never throw it away, it's fine. If you never despair and turn into a witch, spoilers, it's fine. But when you realize how much you are potentially screwed, that might be all it takes to break you to pieces. AKA what happened with Sayaka. She discovered that since her soul was in her soul gem, that she was kind of dead. And that just kind of broke her wish into pieces, because even though she claimed her wish had been selfless, it kind of was not. And really, when you think about it, and it's not a bad thing, no wish is actually selfless.
Yeah.
It's selfish in some way because there is something we want from it, even if it's just to feel good and have somebody say, hey, thank you, you helped me. Be acknowledged for our efforts. It's not wrong. But again, it seems like having a vision is sometimes subjective.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a good person to get one. You just have to align with the rules set forth by an archon.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to be a princess? Okay, here's a vision. Do you want to be a puppy? Okay, here's a vision. Do you want to be a...
It's not necessarily even wanting to be the puppy or the princess. It's, I am now dedicating myself to this pursuit, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah. Well, we learned that archons were not the people who were giving out the vision.
Yeah,
so...
they don't give out the vision, but it seems that the visions themselves are tied to whatever their concept is. Like, all of the Geovision people are definitely tied to Zhongli's concept of the contract.
Except Ito.
Well,
what is Ito?
I need to learn more about him, but I think his is kind of the bro code.
Oh.
He is fiercely loyal to all of his people. He's got a lot of bad memories.
Yeah.
Kuki says, but he is fiercely protective of all of his people, and he will not turn them away. He also wants people to acknowledge the Oni as being worthy of, respect like any other person. And he's faced a lot of prejudice. So he has this solid idea of how things should be, and he lives by that code. It's still not stopping him from getting into trouble, mind you.
Yeah. I had a little weird theory where there is a person in the tea house. He challenged Ayato for the vision, and he lost, and he gave out the vision to Ayato, and I don't think he never returned it. So I was wondering, where is his vision? Because after the vision hunt degrees, like, the guy is okay. The guy is like, I'm doing great. I'm just, hanging out, working out here, and like, I don't have a vision anymore, but I'm pretty okay with it. So,
that's weird. I didn't know that Ayato had taken somebody's vision away. That seems kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Since he's opposed to losing your vision.
Yeah, but so we're done with the vision hunting. So, and we still have this line. I mean, maybe the developer didn't update it. But, the guy doesn't want the vision back too. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible that some people who lost visions discovered they felt better without them. Which would be weird because, again, it's your ambition. It's this defining. It's kind of this defining thing that makes you.
Yeah.
So.
But then again, there is also another person in Liyue. He's a fisherman. That works under the Wanshun restaurant. Wanshun Inn.
Wangshu Inn.
Yeah, he threw out.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Wangshu Funeral Parlor.
Sorry.
I'm trying to remember the name of the fucking inn. It's similar to Wangshu Inn,
right?
Is it the Wangshu Inn?
I finished my Putao. Happy birthday, Putao!
Woo!
Woo! Everything is
happy birthday, bitch.
She's happy. Everything is.
She is
fire,
one of the characters that I do want. I love her design.
Yeah. I just made her very insanely happy. We don't know what she's laughing at, but she's happy that
Oh.
it's burning.
It has not updated on my screen. I wonder why that is.
Oh.
Oh no, there it goes. Oh, it's because I had it minimized. You've been working this whole time and I couldn't, and it wasn't updating. Oh my god. Well, I've learned a thing.
Yay.
Well, I have learned a thing about how this works. It has to be on
Yeah.
the screen the whole time, or it won't
I'm gonna
update.
go to the restroom for 1 second and grab
Oh,
some water. I'll be
It's okay.
right
I
back.
actually need to wrap it up, so let's do that
Okay.
together. So
Alright.
we're actually almost done with our Hilli-Hero girl.
Yay.
Uh,
Oh, she looks wonderful. Ooh. Ooh,
Yee.
I like the tattoo.
Thank you. I've got I have the curse going up her arm in a grid of diamonds, keeping up that diamond thing.
Not gonna lie, this is what I was thinking too. So
Thank
wow,
you.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing it with like the rest of her body too. But we'll get to that. We'll complete her next time and figure out where her vision's gonna go. Choose the kind of vision, and then we can ink her.
Oh yeah, we didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't figure it.
Oh
It's
my
okay.
God.
It's all right not to know. But we'll figure that part out next time. So I want to thank everybody who came and everybody who will watch this later. I hope that you will join me next time. Same place, cc_streaming at twitch.tv. Well, on twitch.tv. It's not at. They don't work that way. Anyway, it's same day, same time. It's Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the future, perhaps I'll try Saturdays. It just seems like there's a lot of people to compete with on Saturday, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll see you next time, and thank you again, Kiki, for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. It was an honor.
Yay! And I hope you will show up next time too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't wait to see what our girl gonna grow up to.
Yeah, and then we'll have to pick a name for her. Damn.
I know. Oh my gosh, she's gonna be.
They grew up so fast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers over on Patreon and give a special shout out to Jack Fox, Old Monster, Dizarin, and Revolution72. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I'd also like to give a big thank you to everyone else watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know with a like and a comment. Be sure to have a look at the other videos on my channel and subscribe so you never miss a new one. Links to my Patreon, Twitch, and all my other socials are in the description below the video. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye bye!